So welcome to another video. This video is basically about NLP. I'm going to understand what is NLP and introduction to NLP. So if you have some idea about compiler design, this will be pretty helpful because mostly it is just a upgraded version of compiler design. So if you know about the compiler design phases, NLP is just one of the uses one of the parts of it and like understands the language, the processing of the source code, what we do in the compiler design. This is the same part what we do in the what we call the NLP. So NLP maybe we do the same thing. Okay, so right here in the what we call the um, processing of the code in compiler design, which is source code understanding and then lexical analysis, then syntactic analysis, then the semantic analysis. These four steps are pretty common in compiler design and NLP both, but these things meant differently, used differently, modified differently. So that is mostly the work of NLP. This particular part is not needed for NLP itself because NLP does not deal with the code generation part. This is only the processing part, which is the important part. Code generation is not needed. This is the work of a compiler design. Next thing we're going to understand about, which is about the application of NLP. So NLP is mostly used in this will not be there basically. So the NLP is mostly used in these kind of sections, which is firstly the sentiment analysis. So if you have a, let's say, news application or something like a news portal or emails or any tweets, and you wanted to do the sentiment analysis, what do you mean by that sentiment analysis? Let's say the news is neutral, positive, or bad, or worst news of all time. So you can do that by the sentiment of it. What is the sentiment of that particular thing? We can do that using NLP. What we are doing is we are processing that particular language. Same thing goes for the translation. If you wanted to translate from one language to another, what we can do, we have to understand the first language, then we have to understand the second language. We can process it and make it something like that we can generate the next language or the targeted language. Go for the spelling correction, this is also be there, important part. Grammar checking is also there. Let's say, yeah, pretty self-explanatory what I'm talking about. Next thing is speech recognition. So speech recognition is something like we're talking to a chat GPT or a model, and that model is converting our speech to text. We can do that using NLP. So yeah, these are the most applications of NLP part. Going to go more depth into it afterwards on these kind of things. So usually people tend to very confused about the thing called like how the phases of the steps of NLP, steps of processing a natural language goes. So we're going to take an example of let's say we're going to understand it from a perspective of a human, then we can understand it from a perspective of a machine. How can I do that? This is pretty similar how a human processes it. Let's say whatever is your native language, like Hindi or whatever. Okay, I'm taking an example of Hindi, and you wanted to convert a language from Hindi to English, let's say. Okay, so in Hindi, what would you say to this language कि मैं खाना खाता हूँ, right? मैं खाना खाता हूँ. So we wanted to convert this particular thing to English, right? This is our objective. Our objective is to convert this particular thing to English. So what is the like what will be the what is the first thing what we can do? We have to understand ki what everything is, right? If you wanted to convert a sentence of Hindi to English, we have to understand Hindi first, and then we have to understand that each word in Hindi, what does it trying to say? Let's say this particular thing is a noun, right? ये एक noun है. This is the particular thing which is called what should I say? Not this thing. This particular thing is called the object, right? And this particular thing is the verb. These particular so if you wanted to convert it line by line, so if we convert me, this will be in English, this will be I, right? I food eat. Is it in the correct order? Is it the right translation? This is not the right translation, right? The reason why it is not the right translation is mostly because it doesn't have a grammatical correctness. So we have to convert it to a grammatical side. So what do we have to do? What is the correct grammatically correct sentence? It will be I eat food, right? This is the grammatically correct sentence. So what if मैं यहाँ पर कुछ ऐसा डाल दूँ जिसका कोई मीनिंग ही नहीं है. लाइक से मैं खाना नहीं खाता हूँ, मैं गरम आइसक्रीम खाता हूँ. What if I write this? So इसका line by line word by word translation क्या होगा? This will be hot, this will be ice cream, and for the case of this will be eat, right? This will be eat. So if I do the line by line translation, is it grammatically correct? No. What is the grammatically correct sentence will be? This will be I eat hot ice cream. But right now, see one particular thing. Is this is grammatically correct, right? But does this mean anything? Does it mean it is a proper thing? No, right? This is not a proper thing. What is the proper thing will be? The proper thing is I eat either ice cream or something like that. I eat ice cream. This is the most proper understanding of it. So what we do, we find a meaning into that particular sentence, right? Let's say if I say मेरा नाम है मोहक, so what do? I write another word, something like मेरा नाम है मोहक और मैं गरम आइसक्रीम खाता हूँ, राइट? अगर मैं इसको कन्वर्ट कर दूँ डायरेक्टली, सो व्हाट विल बी दी ग्रामेटिकली करेक्ट सेंटेंस? My name is Mohak and I eat hot ice cream. Now understand this. What is the most correct one? This is the most correct one, that my name is Mohak and I eat ice cream. This is the correct one. But what do you mean by I? Is this I the same thing as Mohak? Yes, this is the same thing. We have to understand this also. कि मैं, what do we mean by मैं? यहाँ पर we understand कि okay, I means could be someone else, right? But it is related to Mohak. So Mohak is the person we are talking about. So right now this is the new concept of what should I say, a pronoun, right? So what we do, we usually part it in a grammatically correct sentence where we understand कि अच्छा mohak is the noun of this particular sentence, khana is the like khana, ठीक है, khana is the verb of the particular sentence, ice cream is the object of the particular sentence, right? Garam might be the adjective of the particular sentence, even though we are disregarding it, but let's say it might be an adverb or adjective, I don't know, but yeah, that is pretty much the understanding of it. So what we do right here, what is the important part? The important part is I is related to mohak, so I is a pronoun which I'm using for the noun which is called mohak, right? Okay, this is another thing I understand, but let's say this particular thing is pretty understandable, right? But now what if what might be another language, ठीक है? ओके, मैं इसी सेंटेंस के अंदर मैं और एक चीज़ जोड़ देता हूँ, which is like something like पर ये बहुत ठंडा है. इफ़ आई डू समथिंग लाइक दिस, मेरा नाम है मोहक और मैं गर्म आइसक्रीम खाता हूँ पर ये बहुत ठंडा है, ठीक है? सो व्हाट विल बी दी directly correct grammatical sentence will be something like my name is Mohak and I eat hot ice cream, but it is cold, but it is cold, right? This is a language. Don't go कि ये क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं, what is the meaning of this, what might be the outcome of from it, just understand this. So मेरा नाम है मोहक और मैं गर्म आइसक्रीम खाता हूँ पर ये बहुत ठंडा है, ठीक है? इसको मैं कन्वर्ट कर रहा हूँ किस पे? इसको मैं कन्वर्ट कर रहा हूँ इंग्लिश पे. व्हाट विल बी द इंग्लिश? माई नेम इज़ मोहक एंड आई ईट हॉट आइसक्रीम बट इट इज़ कोल्ड. ओके, व्हाट विल बी द करेक्ट वन? द करेक्ट वन इज़ माई नेम इज़ मोहक एंड आई ईट आइसक्रीम बट इट इज़ कोल्ड, राइट? अब what do I mean कि it is cold, ठीक है? इसका क्या और मतलब हो सकता है? It might mean कि कोई इस आइसक्रीम को ले लो क्योंकि मुझे बहुत ठंडी लग रही है, ठीक है? Might be the case. मैं cold क्यों बोलूँगा? What do I mean by cold? Why should I say cold? I know ice cream is cold. Might be कि बहुत ठंडा है. It is something like it is really cold. And I also say something like here it is really cold. So it might mean कि ये ऐसा मीनिंग बन सकता है कि I want someone to take the ice cream from me, right? This might be the meaning of it. I'm not saying कि we have to translate this word to this particular thing. This is this particular thing means कि understanding क्या होनी चाहिए. What do I mean by saying this sentence? From this sentence I try to mean that ice cream is really cold and I want you to take it from me, and I'm not saying it directly. I'm saying कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा cold है, ठीक है? So this is the particular part we have to understand. So अगर तुम ये पूरा का पूरा सेंटेंस को थोड़ा सा बहुत अच्छी तरीके से देखो, you're going to understand कि what do I mean from it. So this is pretty much the entire steps you have to understand in order to like क्या बोलते हैं, in order to understand the steps for NLP or a processing, कि हम कैसे natural language को process करते हैं. So this is all the steps of it. So this is basically okay. Now let's connect it to NLP. This is the particular thing which is what we call the code or the source code or whatever. Okay, source language. Okay. Now इसके ऊपर what we do, अब यहाँ से हम क्या कर रहे हैं, इस चीज़ पे हम और एक काम कर रहे हैं, राइट? इसी चीज़ को हम ग्रामेटिकली डिवाइड कर रहे हैं कि यहाँ पर मोहक इज़ द नाउन, ओके? आइसक्रीम माइट बी दी ऑब्जेक्ट, खाना इज़ द खाता, एक्चुअली खाता इज़ द verb, adjective or basically cold might be the adjective. Okay, so these are some things which we get. तो हमें ये चीज़ पता लग गई कि ये चीज़ what is this, ये like कौन सा word क्या है. So this particular thing is called lexical analysis. This is called lexical analysis. Okay, what is the next thing? We construct a language which is grammatically correct. So this particular thing is called syntactic analysis. This particular thing is called syntactic analysis because we're checking the syntax. What is the next thing? This particular thing we are checking the meaning of it. क्या ये सही है? ये जो syntactical analysis हमने किया grammatically तो सही है, पर क्या जो कहना चाह रहा है वो बंदा क्या वो सही कह रहा है? तो ये चीज़ for understanding this we are telling it is a semantic analysis. Okay, and now what we are also doing is कि we are understanding and getting some meaning from it. What might be the meaning कि I is referring to, यहाँ पर जैसे हमने देखा था, पर हमने ये नहीं देखा था I might be कि एक डिटर्मिनेंट हो सकता है, या लाइक यू कैन थिंक ऑफ इट लाइक अ प्रोनाउन एक्चुअली हो सकता है ये, बट वी हैव टू लाइक आइडेंटिफाई इट. सो राइट नाउ वी आर आइडेंटिफाइंग कि ये जो यहाँ पर मैं आई कह रहा हूँ ये बेसिकली और कोई नहीं, यहाँ पर मैं जो आई कह रहा हूँ ये बेसिकली और कोई नहीं मोहक ही है. ठीक है. सो व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, यहाँ पर मैं क्या लिख रहा हूँ, मैं लिख रहा हूँ कि माई नेम इज़ मोहक. सो आई इज़ बेसिकली रिफरिंग टू मोहक, राइट. सो दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग इज़ कॉल्ड व्हाट इज़ इट कॉल्ड, मैं भूल गया इसका नाम, डिस्कोर्स इंटीग्रेशन. ओके, डिस्कोर्स इंटीग्रेशन. ओके, and from this what we are getting ki I want someone to take the ice cream for me. What is it? This is basically ki what do I mean by it. There might be some of the things I can make a statement out of it, but I can also make something like a request out of it. So if I do that might mean something else. So यही अगर meaning को अगर हम देखने जाए तो what we can call it, we can call it a pragmatic analysis. This might be the pragmatic analysis. Got it? This is entirely the steps you have to understand. So I'm going to paste some images right here. Give me some time. So this is the image, you can pretty much read it from it. This phase we can analyze the source code as a stream of characters, like we are taking one character at a time and convert it to meaningful lexemes. Lexemes are basically this particular thing. Mohak refers to noun, so you can mapping it, you can think of like an array or a 2D array where we are mapping the first index is basically the word itself, and the second index is what is the type of word it is. Okay, so this is the lexeme. Lexeme is the basic unit of meaning. Okay, what is syntactic analysis? Syntactic analysis, we're checking the grammar, word arrangements and relationship among the words. What is the next thing? Semantic analysis. Semantic analysis is concerned with the representation. So the hot ice cream, this is not a meaningful sentence. Okay, what is the next thing? Discourse integration. Discourse integration is Jack speaks to all of its friends, and followed by he calls out by Dave. So what is he? He refers to Jack. This is the particular thing, we call it a discourse integration. What is a pragmatic analysis? Pragmatic analysis undercovers or uncovers the intended meanings and meaning of a sentence called it is freezing in here. Might request to close the open window. Okay, this is called the pragmatic analysis. This is basically the meaning of pragmatic analysis and basically the steps of NLP. So right now we're going to understand about ambiguity. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit big. Ambiguity. Ambiguity basically means that in natural language what do we mean or what do we say doesn't always go hand by hand. Let's say we wanted to, like, there's a lot of things in there actually. If you felt something like, what might be the one of the more ambiguous statement, that something like, my face fall or fell my face fell when I heard the news. So does my face by default fell? That is not true, right? But that is something like, I am shocked from that particular news, right? Or let's say, what should I say? Some other things like, I saw the man with the telescope. This is one of the main primary example. I saw the man with the telescope. I saw the man with the telescope. The man had a telescope, or I saw the man with the telescope. So that is the particular thing. Like, I have a telescope and I saw the man, or I saw the man who have a telescope. So this is a particular thing. What we wanted to mean is not directly goes to what we are saying. So that particular thing is called the ambiguity, right? So there are quite of ambiguous statements. We are going to understand about the ambiguous statements which are there. Some of the things are lexical ambiguity. Okay, the first thing I was talking about, ambiguity. The first example I was talking about, my face fell when I heard the news. So right here, if you talk about something like the face, okay, does my face really fell out of it? No, right? So this particular thing might mean something else, so the entire meaning is changed. So if we are decoding it by itself, so the meaning is changed, right? कि मेरा मेरा जो चेहरा था वो डायरेक्टली फॉल ही कर गया, ठीक है, दैट इज नॉट द थिंग वी मेंट. So this is an example of lexical ambiguity. Okay, so then you can think of something like this is pretty simple. If you are taking an example of taking literally, okay, if you are taking something literally, then it is a lexical ambiguity. Okay, what do I mean literally? If you say something like whatever, this particular thing is a prime example of it, कि my face fell. Does my face really fell? No. Or something like, I was standing there and my let's say, I cannot able to feel the earth at all. Does it really something like that might happen कि तुम अर्थ को ही फील ना कर पाओ, right? That does not happen. That is the thing what you call the lexical ambiguity, where we are taking the words by default, or by what should I say, by the word itself. We are doing word by word translation if we are doing. So this might be the exact the exact translation of word by word. If you do that, this might be the particular thing, my face actually fall, but that's not the case what happened, right? So this is lexical ambiguity. The next thing is syntactic ambiguity. Syntactic ambiguity is basically the next thing I talked about. The I saw the man with the telescope. So here the word or the grammatically it is might be correct, but you don't know whom you are talking to. If we are taking this particular example, there might be two examples that can happen. So the first thing is, I saw the man with the telescope. तो मैन के पास टेलीस्कोप था, या आई सॉ द मैन, सॉरी, ये मेरे पास टेलीस्कोप था. सो या फिर आई सॉ द मैन विथ द टेलीस्कोप. सो मैन के पास टेलीस्कोप था, वी डोंट नो. सो दैट इज़ व्हाट वी कॉल द सिंटैक्टिक एम्बिग्विटी. ओके, कि even though it is grammatically correct, it is written in that particular manner where we can't say कि what does it mean. There might be multiple meaning of it. Okay, here also there might be multiple meaning of it, but this is what we if you are taking a word literally, then we can say it is lexical ambiguity. If you are taking a word not literally but more of it is confusing, that what should I happen, there are two or more possibilities, then it is a syntactic ambiguity. Okay, and let's say okay, I'm going to give a little bit of example of, let me check some example of semantic ambiguity. So the next thing is semantic ambiguity. So a good example is semantic ambiguity is that when in this particular ambiguity we are talking about something like कि जिसका मीनिंग ही अलग हो. ओके, द समथिंग अ लैंग्वेज और अ सेंटेंस विच इज़ ग्रामेटिकली करेक्ट एंड उसका इंटायर सेंटेंस का मीनिंग, there are two possible, there is no two possibilities inside the sentence itself, but this can be represented in a different way. So let's say the chicken is ready to eat. Okay, right here if you are seeing right here, this is more or less about a single word. The single word can mean something can mean something different. Okay, if you are seeing right here, you can think that in a single sentence okay, in a single sentence it can represent two different outcomes. Okay, two or more. Okay, two or more different outcomes in a single sentence. Okay, or should I say, I can phrase it more better. I think in a single sentence it can represent two or more different scenarios. Okay, which might be confusing. Okay, but right here if you are seeing this one can represent two different possibilities. Okay, this represent two different possibilities. First one is chicken is cooked, you can eat it, or chicken will going to eat something. Okay, this is basically the idea of semantic ambiguity, where an entire sentence can mean different things. Semantic ambiguity, in a single sentence there are some other possibilities. If you are rearrange the words or word pressure a little bit, जैसे if I pressure more on the man, so I saw the man with the telescope, then the man, because of I giving the pressure on the man, I can say that I saw the man with the telescope, कि मेरे पास telescope है और मैंने man को देखा. If I pressure more on the telescope, then I can say I saw the man with the telescope. So this can mean something like the man के पास telescope है, मेरे पास telescope नहीं है. And in lexical analysis, I can literally say, if you are taking something literally, let's say if there is a bank, we don't know what bank we are talking about, right? If you are a bank, like it's a bank. What do I mean from this sentence? What do I mean by bank? There is a river bank also, right? There is something called a river bank and a cash bank, right? So this particular thing is called the lexical analysis. Okay, fine. This is the semantic ambiguity. This is the lexical ambiguity. This is the syntactic ambiguity. This is the semantic ambiguity. uh, Wait a bit, क्या हो गया? Yeah. Okay. This is another thing is called discourse integration ambiguity. Discourse integration or discourse ambiguity, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, discourse ambiguity. Ambiguity. This is basically means that what if Jade was talking to say Harry. Okay, what should I say? More easy example, what can it be? Okay, Jade told Harry he was late. Jade told Harry that he was late. Okay, right here the he doesn't know whom we are talking about. We don't know the context. Let's say Jade was talking to someone. Jade told, you can think of like right now, you can think of that Jade told Harry that he was late. This might be Jade talking about that he might be late, or we can think of like Jade told Harry that he was late. He might refer to someone else. We don't know whom we are talking about. That he was late. We are, if say there is a third person who might be late, and Jade was talking about that person, or Jade is talking with Harry that he was coming. He came late to a party or something like that. Okay, we don't know. So he refers to whom we have no idea. So this particular thing is called the discourse ambiguity. Got it? After learning about ambiguity, we have to understand what are the things which are there. We already know about it because we already study English, but yeah, this is pretty much the things we have to understand. Firstly, the nouns. Nouns are actually used as a entity. Okay, nouns we understand, verbs we understand, adjectives which are explaining the noun, adverbs which are explaining the uh, verbs which are there. Like adjectives might be the big, happy, green, like a happy life, or happy man, or let's say big boy, big girl, something like that. Okay, adverbs are I was eating quickly and I saw that yesterday, and these kind of things. Okay, pronouns we understand, which describes or co-reference to pronoun, co-reference to noun. Okay, preposition which establishes a relation, um, conjugations which are basically sentence segmentations के लिए जो भी use होते हैं. Okay, determiners are basically the important ones, which are a and the, this, these kind of things are called the determinants. Interjection, which is wow, or emotion expressions. Okay, so why am I teaching this? The reason, because this will be important in the grammar itself, not the grammar of English grammar. This is the compiler design based grammar we are talking about. So I'm going to write some of the grammars which we're going to use right here. So let's say one of the popular grammar is NP, what should I say, plus n, not plus, NPVP. Okay, what is NPVP? What is S? S, you can think of the source. Okay, I'm just writing it in a different Okay, whatever, बाद में कर दूंगा ये. But this is S is basically the source. NP is basically the noun phrase. What is noun? Noun is like me. We talked about right here. Cat, dog, book. Noun. VP is the verb phrase. Okay. VP is the verb phrase. Cool. What is the next grammar will be? Next grammar might be if we derive the NP itself, it will going to pronounce something called noun only. So I'm going to write noun, and this will going to produce one another thing which is called the determinant. You can call determinant at first. What is the determinant? Determinant is the determinant or determiners. Okay, determiners are this and nouns is this. Okay, acha. What do we mean by noun phrase? Noun phrase means something like the boy is eating food. So right here, this particular section entirely explains or have the understanding of a noun and a determiner, which is built out of noun and determiner. Okay, what is built with the noun and determiner? The boy. And is eating food is entirely describing the verb itself. So the entire sentence is describing the noun phrase and the verb phrase. What is the noun phrase? Noun phrase is the boy section, and is eating food is the verb phrase. Okay, so the noun phrase is containing the determiners and the nouns itself. Okay, so what is the next thing? If we derive the noun phrase, which derives to determiners and the nouns. Okay, so yeah, what is the next thing we have to derive? The VP, right? We have to derive the VP. The VP contains the auxiliary verb. Okay, the VP contains the auxiliary verb. I'm writing aux and the verb phrase itself. So it derive itself. Okay, got it? So the verb phrase again, the verb phrase derives noun. Okay, right here the noun doesn't mean you have a like a name or something like that. Noun directly means to one object also. So the object can be noun itself. So right here it is the auxiliary verb containing a, or you can think of this is the auxiliary verb, the is the auxiliary verb, eating food is in itself a verb phrase. The verb phrase will going to contain another auxiliary verb, or you can think of like what should I say? From here you can think of, you can derive the noun itself. Okay, so this is kind of like this is the auxiliary verb and this is the verb phrase. The verb phrase will going to contain another auxiliary and the noun phrase, so you can directly get the noun from there. Okay, going to see more example of it. Yeah, pretty much. You can get the verb itself. Okay, should I say noun and verb also? So this might be the appropriate I think description of it. This can contain the verb, this can contain the noun itself. So yeah, we're going to go a little bit more onto it, but I wanted to showcase a top down parser with this particular thing. I'm going to get an example. Okay, this example in itself is pretty good. So if I write something like S, and from that S what I can do, I can create a noun phrase and a verb phrase. So I'm going to create a noun phrase. Cool. I'm going to create a verb phrase. Cool. From the noun phrase, I can get a determiner and a noun. Okay. So I can get a determiner and a noun. From the verb phrase, I can get an auxiliary verb and a verb phrase again. From the verb phrase, what I can get a V and a noun, or I can get a V and a noun. Okay, okay, right. These kind of things I can get. So if I derive the whole thing right now, so the determiner is basically the noun is the boy. Okay, the auxiliary verb is, the verb is eating, and the noun is again food. Okay, now if we already know how to read this particular thing, you know how to read it. This is the way, left recursively, or from the left side you have to read it. What is the one? So this is a parsing tree. What we made a parse tree. Okay, of what? Of this particular sentence. So this is how you use the grammar of NLP. You're going to get a lot of these kind of grammars on the upcoming side when we are learning about top-down parser and bottom-up parser. So for that time, wait a little bit. We're going to come into it afterwards. So right now we're going to talk about the Chomsky hierarchy. Chomsky hierarchy, and I'm not going to talk about a lot about all these things, but the thing we have to know is that the finite automata basically means that you can detect and like it can be used as an identifier, but it does not have a memory. So that is the reason we use push down automata or the context free grammars. The reason why we are talking about context free grammars into the whole thing is because context free grammar will going to use for the most amount of time. So you can understand about context sensitive grammar and what is recursively enumerable grammars, but we're not going to talk about it. So Chomsky hierarchy is only mostly needed in context free grammar, but if it needed, I'll going to make a separate video. We're going to cover these kind of things in detail right there. So I'm going to make something like a note here, or I don't know, should I make a note? Yeah, which is that the first thing we're going to talk about it is Chomsky hierarchy, but I don't think so that will be really important, because you're going to use context free grammar. This is not a compiler design class, so you can understand this. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about all the parsing which are there. So there is a top down parsing, there is a bottom up parsing, and another parsing we're going to talk about is the chart parsing. Also there is a probabilistic chart parsing is also there, if I'm not wrong. Probabilistic parsing. Okay, probabilistic parsing. So if you wanted to talk about these four things, you have to, I'm going to take an example of it. So this is the example. I'm going to copy. This is the example. We're going to talk about the top down parsing and the bottom up parsing. So in the top down parsing, we assume that we have the text itself and we have to build it from the source, okay, or the S. So right now I'm assuming that I have the source, this is the given part, and you have to match this particular thing. Okay, So that is top down parsing. From the top I am parsing and getting to the bottom where the result is located. What is the bottom of parsing? I have this line and I have to go back, reverse parse it, and go back to the top of it, or the go back to the S. Okay, so that is basically bottom up parsing. If you want a more detailed bottom up parsing one, how to do bottom up parsing, I'm going to like taking a note of it. So Chomsky hierarchy, then bottom up parsing, or the top and bottom up parsing. But mostly the mostly a compiler design related topic. Okay, what is chart parsing? Chart parsing basically is something like an something like a top down parsing and the bottom up parsing, but it basically has a identity called DP. It uses DP for storing the intermediate results. Let's say there is there is no repeating characters, right? But what if there is a repeating character? Let's say the boy is eating food and the boy also eating banana. So every time there is okay, what are the duplicates one right here? This is a duplicate one. Can I identify? I can't. Okay, so the is the duplicate one. Okay, what are the duplicate one? The is a duplicate one. Is not a duplicate one. It should be the boy, not a body. So the boy. So the boy is a duplicate one. Okay, eating is duplicate. Yeah, three things are duplicate right here. So if we parse it right, just like this, no issues are there, but it would take more time and it will not be optimized, because if we use something like a DP and we store the intermediate results into a table, so what we can do, rather than going into this particular thing, we can check the table that is this computation already exists. Like, let's say the boy, okay, the boy is, okay, if I say and the boy is also, I am taking the is example also. Okay, the boy is a noun phrase. Okay, and we, what we have done, we have created this parsing tree right here. So rather than creating this parsing tree again, we can use the intermediate results we have previously stored and we can get all this result directly. So we don't have to we don't have to store it. We are, what we do in chart parsing, we store the entire things right here. So S produces S, NP and VP. NP produces DP, or not like this actually. This is most of like something with the results. So the S is basically the whole thing. Okay, S is the whole thing. Okay, the boy is eating food. This is the whole thing. Okay, S is the whole thing. NP is the boy portion. Okay, VP is the is eating portion. This is the table. This is the table, or the if you ever have learned how to do dynamic programming, you get this idea. We are storing it inside the table. We are storing it like the date refers to the noun refers to the boy. Now if this particular thing comes afterwards, then when they are parsing this the or the this boy, they don't have to go and parse it again, because they can directly check it from right here. Okay, this is the easier part. You have to understand, this handles the ambiguity pretty easily. One of the parsers like CKY parser is actually the popular approach for this. Okay, another thing is the probabilistic parsing. Probabilistic parsing is basically it is more like a probabilistic CFG. probabilistic CFG means, let's say there is an ambiguity that the ambiguity is pretty simple. You can understand. You can take an example of the previous examples, like the man. I saw a man with the telescope. Okay, so there are two possibilities. We know what are the two possibilities. I saw the man with the telescope, and I saw a man with the telescope. So if we are parsing lot of these kind of sentence, and most of the time, is there a reference, if there a reference of a man with the telescope more, so the probability becomes more. So the chances of the man has the telescope becomes more than me, okay, than I. So at that particular time we can say that we can use this probabilistic parsing. Okay, we are using probability to understand or probability to parse, so we don't have to regenerate or have to have the problem of ambiguity there. Got it? Because if you have ambiguity, then we have to produce more different type of what should I say, outcomes. Okay, so I'm not explaining the bottom up and bottom up parsing right there. The next thing you have to understand is the regular expressions.